Every journey begins with a single step, but some journeys define not just an individual, but an entire nation. Nelson Mandela's autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom, is one such story, a chronicle of struggle, resilience, and the ultimate triumph of humanity over oppression. Nelson Mandela was born in 1918 in Mvezo, a small village in South Africa. Raised in the rolling hills of the Transkei, he belonged to the Thembu royal family, though his early life was anything but royal. Like many boys his age, he tended cattle and listened to elders sharing stories of African warriors who resisted colonialism. Mandela's upbringing grounded him in the values of community and fairness, planting the seeds of a lifelong commitment to justice. But his horizons expanded when he attended missionary schools, where he first encountered the inequalities of apartheid, a system that institutionalized racial discrimination. Mandela realized that his people, like cattle penned in fields, were denied the vast, open plains of freedom. Mandela's entry into politics was not a thunderous leap, but a steady flame sparked by witnessing daily injustices. After moving to Johannesburg in the 1940s, he became a lawyer and joined the African National Congress, ANC. It was here that Mandela began his journey as a freedom fighter. Mandela and his comrades in the ANC realized they were not just fighting a battle but playing a long, calculated game against a regime that controlled every aspect of their lives, from where they lived to whom they could marry. In the 1950s, Mandela embraced nonviolent resistance, inspired by leaders like Gandhi. But the government's violent crackdown on protests made it clear that their oppressors had no intention of playing fair. This marked a turning point. By the early 1960s, Mandela co-founded Umkhonto we Sizwe, the armed wing of the ANC. It was a controversial decision, like breaking the chains of peaceful negotiation in favor of the hammer of armed resistance. Mandela argued that when peaceful paths are blocked, the oppressed have no choice but to fight. This was not war for the sake of war. It was resistance in the name of justice. But the government branded Mandela a terrorist. In 1964, Mandela was arrested and sentenced to life imprisonment for sabotage. At his trial, he delivered his iconic speech, "I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society. It is an ideal for which I am prepared to die." Mandela's imprisonment on Robben Island was not just a physical confinement, it was a crucible that tested his spirit. Imagine spending 27 years in a cell smaller than a parking space with a thin mat for a bed and crushing rocks under the blistering sun as your daily labor. Yet, like a tree growing through concrete, Mandela refused to be broken. He spent his time studying, strategizing, and building relationships with his fellow prisoners. He even befriended some of the guards, recognizing that empathy could be a weapon as powerful as any sword. Mandela's resilience inspired the world. While he was in prison, the anti-apartheid movement grew, fueled by his unyielding spirit. His name became a symbol of resistance, a beacon of hope for millions. In 1990, after 27 years behind bars, Mandela was released. His release was not the end of the struggle, but the beginning of a new chapter. South Africa was a land divided, like a house with crumbling walls. Mandela's task was to rebuild it, brick by brick. Mandela chose reconciliation over revenge, a decision as delicate as walking a tightrope. He famously said, "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it." Instead of seeking retribution, Mandela worked to heal the wounds of apartheid through truth and reconciliation. In 1994, Nelson Mandela became South Africa's first black president, a momentous event that symbolized the dawn of a new era for the nation. It was more than a political victory. It was a powerful signal of hope, resilience, and the potential for transformation. Mandela's ascension to the presidency marked the culmination of decades of struggle against apartheid and oppression, but he understood that this victory was just the beginning. For Mandela, true freedom went beyond political emancipation. He envisioned a holistic liberation that encompassed economic justice, social equity, and reconciliation among all South Africans. His dream of a rainbow nation was one of unity in diversity, a society where people of every race, culture, and background could coexist and thrive as equals, forging a shared and inclusive future. Under Mandela's leadership, South Africa undertook the arduous task of dismantling apartheid laws and addressing the deep-seated inequalities that had plagued the nation for generations. The process was not easy, but Mandela's unwavering commitment to justice and reconciliation inspired progress. He demonstrated that leadership is not about wielding power for personal gain, but about using it as a tool to empower others, foster unity, and create opportunities for all. His ability to lead with empathy and wisdom transformed him into a global icon of hope and perseverance, proving that true leaders are those who uplift and inspire. Mandela's story is a timeless reminder that the fight for freedom and justice is never truly over. He often said, "After climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb." This metaphor encapsulates his belief that progress is a continuous journey requiring resilience and courage. His legacy endures in every struggle for equality and justice worldwide, reminding us that even the longest and most challenging walks begin with a single step. Mandela's life exemplified this truth, showing us that determination and hope can light the way forward, no matter how daunting the path may seem. Mandela's life can be likened to a river flowing through a barren land, bringing vitality and renewal to a nation parched by decades of injustice and division. His leadership was a source of life and hope, demonstrating that even the harshest and most unyielding barriers can be eroded over time with perseverance and faith. His transformative impact on South Africa extended beyond policy. It touched the hearts and minds of people, inspiring them to believe in the possibility of a better future. In addition to being a source of renewal, Mandela was a bridge, a vital connection between the past and the future, between black and white, and between conflict and peace. His leadership built pathways of understanding and reconciliation, creating a foundation for unity in a divided nation. Like any bridge, Mandela's legacy requires ongoing care and effort to remain strong and relevant. It is a reminder that the work of bridging divides and fostering peace is an ongoing responsibility, one that requires dedication from all of us. Nelson Mandela's Long Walk to Freedom is not just a memoir. It is a guide, a roadmap for navigating the complexities of justice, forgiveness, and leadership. His story teaches us that freedom is not a fixed destination, but an ever-evolving journey. The torch he carried with courage and determination now rests in our hands. It is our responsibility to keep its flame burning brightly, ensuring that his legacy of hope, resilience, and unity continues to inspire future generations. As Mandela himself said, "The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." This message, rooted in perseverance and optimism, serves as a call to action for us all, urging us to rise to the challenges of our time and carry his vision forward. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall.